Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So of course, in today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin, give you guys an update on what is happening with Bitcoin today, and of course the price for Bitcoin, and not just that, but of course the entire cryptocurrency market. And I want to talk about, where Bitcoin is heading next, right? And it might actually shock you guys on where Bitcoin, could be, potentially be heading next for the next bull market. We know the next bull market will officially happen very, very soon. I wouldn't say we are in fact, 100%, in the next bull market just yet. But I will say this, we are in fact, in the early stages of the next bull market very, very soon. So, I really want to talk about, where Bitcoin could actually be heading next, in the future, and of course in the next bull market. And there is in fact, a fair few charts, of course, that I want to show you guys indicating that Bitcoin could potentially reach, these next targets, these crazy targets that might actually shock you guys. So that's exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. So give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet already. I really would appreciate that. And on that, guys, let's begin with today's video. So you guys can clearly see right now, Bitcoin, it's still holding at $30,000, right? It's still holding at 30K. Literally, about 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? Yes, it was. 2 days ago, we actually saw it pump almost up to $32,000, almost. Okay, it didn't quite hit 32K. You guys can clearly see that. And actually, had a retest, correction back down to the downside. And you guys can clearly see in the past, for the past, over 2 weeks, right? More than 2 weeks, it seems like every single time we see Bitcoin either touch $31,000 or slightly surpass $31,000, right? It always comes back down to 30K. Okay, you guys can just clearly see that we haven't actually seen Bitcoin touch $32,000, and that's why, guys, for the past few days and of course few weeks, I've been mentioning this many times in my videos, that if we actually see Bitcoin touch 32K or even surpass $32,000, I think that is when we will in fact see the next rally up for Bitcoin, which is around $35,000. That's my next target. Once we actually see Bitcoin surpass this resistance line, it breaks out of it. Okay, I have a little breakout and it surpasses 32K. Okay, I think the next target for Bitcoin will in fact be $35,000. And I think that is in fact very, very possible in the next maybe upcoming few days, maybe in the next few weeks, guys. Okay, so it is the month of July. We know in July usually Bitcoin does perform pretty well, so I'm expecting Bitcoin to do something amazing. Okay, but yeah, I think that is when, guys, we'll in fact see another rally up for Bitcoin. But you guys can just clearly see, if I go to the 1 hour time frame, this is exactly what Bitcoin has in fact been doing for the past few hours, and it is in fact consolidating still once again. So the good news is that at least Bitcoin is still above 30K. Okay, still holding strong at $30,000. This is obviously a very, very strong, support level for Bitcoin that we are in fact seeing right now, obviously. And the bad news is, I really want Bitcoin to get out of $30,000 and of course $31,000. I really want Bitcoin to really pump, okay, up to reach a new high of 32,000, 33, 34, and of course 35, and ongoing from there on. But that's not bad news, guys. You know what I mean? At least Bitcoin is still holding up very strong, even if Bitcoin does break support, at 30K. If it drops to like 29 or even 28, right? Bitcoin is still holding very, very strong, guys, but very unlikely if it happen for Bitcoin to do. I think it's going to be all ups from here. That's just my personal opinion, right? For Bitcoin. So you guys can clearly see the global crypto market cap this morning is kind of 1.22 trillion. So it's still looking pretty good overall today. Market's not really moving, up 0.44%. So not much movements. Okay, really isn't much movements for Bitcoin or even Ethereum. You guys can clearly see our BNB is having a slight pump, 1.7%. Solana, 2.9%. Dogecoin today, 5.3%. Dogecoin is in fact actually, still having a decent pump, currently at 7 cents. Okay, so that's Dogecoin. Shiba Inu also pumping as well. Seems like meme coins are in fact having a slight pump this morning. Not sure why, but it is 2% for Shiba Inu. But yeah, other than that, not much movement in the market. We are actually seeing some altcoins having a slight pump, but nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? At all. Nothing too crazy. You guys can clearly see that for the past 24 hours. So yeah, the market today, okay, the market this morning is not really moving, only 0.44%. So that's that. Now let's move on to the charts indicating where Bitcoin could potentially be heading right in the next, few weeks, and of course, few months, and of course, the next upcoming few years. Of course, I'm talking about 2024 and 2025. So let's talk about it, okay? And it might actually shock you guys. So starting off with this chart right here in front of you guys can clearly see, it seems like, Bitcoin, the next biggest bull run of all time is in fact about to happen. Remember, guys, we have already hit bottom, and all of 2023 for the past, at least 7 months, over 6 months now. Okay, we are more than halfway through this year. We have in fact been seeing Bitcoin slowly recover, right? We know that. Okay, I've been mentioning that many times. Okay, Bitcoin at one point, about in November was at $15,000, and now 7 months later, right here we are in July, in the New Year's in 2023, and Bitcoin's currently at $30,000. You know what I mean? So it has obviously slowly recovered, and I think in the next upcoming few months for this year in 2023, we're going to see Bitcoin also recover. It's going to also create new rallies up to the upside. Okay, it's obviously going to create new highs for this year in 2023. And I told you guys many times, I really do see Bitcoin reaching at least 50K or over 50K towards the end of this year, right? So you guys can see it's all up from here, guys, right? Nowhere, like, Bitcoin has never, right? Once we actually see Bitcoin reach bottom, okay, and it recovers and it creates a new pattern up to the upside, okay, in Bitcoin history, you guys can clearly see, even for the past few years, right, it has never gone back down to its previous lows, right, ever. You know what I mean? So obviously this rally that we are in fact seeing right now for Bitcoin, pumping from 15K from its low all the way up to where we are now at 30K, right? We're not going to see Bitcoin go back down to like 20K or below 20K ever again in Bitcoin history, right? I've been telling you guys that many times. I've been mentioning that, but it's true. You know what I mean? So it's all ups from here, guys. Okay, it really is. Okay, so that's that. It's looking pretty good. Now, here's another chart that I want to show you guys. We know the halving is in fact about to happen. We are obviously in the pre-halving event. The halving actually has not happened yet. We all know that. Okay, and I told you guys, right? Every single time, okay, we have the halving. That is where Bitcoin tends to pump the most, right? So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. This chart, okay, is pretty good because it actually shows you guys where Bitcoin could potentially be heading in the year 2024 and 2025, right? And it looks like to me, okay, Bitcoin in 2025 is going to absolutely skyrocket. And yes, that is very true. What happened in 2021 will happen in 2025. 2025 should be an amazing year, okay, for Bitcoin, right? And actually says here, struggling with trading, here are some simple solutions. No FOMO, no emotions, no greed. Focus on facts and your strategy. That's it. Very simple. Okay, so that's all you got to do, you know what I mean, for trading. So shout out to Stock Money Lizards once again. I love his charts, okay, and I'm pretty sure we all do. But yes, I agree that this is potentially where Bitcoin will be heading, in the next few years, upcoming years, 2024 and of course 2025. So for all my Bitcoin holders out there, be excited for that. Here's another chart from Stock Money Lizards. Once again, the halving. Okay, you guys clearly see every single time we have the halving, Bitcoin does in fact pump. But you guys have to understand, once the halving actually happens, Bitcoin's not going to pump straight away. You know what I mean? Once the halving actually happens, right? It's not going to pump straight away. You got to give it a few weeks time, or even a few weeks or a few months time, right? And then that's when we're going to really see Bitcoin pump. And that's why, in my past few videos that I've been mentioning this many times, that once the halving actually happens, okay, in around April of 2024, I really do believe, see Bitcoin really starting to pump, towards the end of that year in 2024, right? So end of 2024, around maybe October, November, or even December 2024, that's when we're going to really see Bitcoin pump, guys. Okay, and of course, early 2025, in fact, in the entire year of 2025, we're going to see pretty much Bitcoin pump. You know what I mean? So exciting times, guys, right? Exciting times. And I told you guys many times, you literally just survived one of the worst Bitcoin bear markets ever. Okay, you literally survived, guys, right? If you survived 2022, we know the year 2022 was literally probably one of the worst years ever in Bitcoin and crypto history. You know what I mean? It really was one of the worst, bear markets out there. I already made a video talking about this a couple of days ago. But in my opinion, yes, it's literally the worst. You know what I mean? Yeah, a fair few negative things were in fact happening around the crypto space. Okay, that caused Bitcoin to drop significantly, and we were obviously in a bear market, so it was just all bad, right? So many things caused Bitcoin to crash. Okay, obviously crypto exchanges and whatnot, and many more other things. Um, so that's that, guys. It was just a terrible year, but we are in fact slowly recovering, and obviously, we are in fact hearing a lot of great news to this day. A lot of institutions are in fact coming into the crypto space, and of course Bitcoin. Okay, we all know that, and of course I really do believe in the future different countries are gonna start getting into Bitcoin and crypto. You know what I mean? Maybe even banks, right? So everyone is gonna somehow get into a Bitcoin crypto. We already know what's happening with major institutions today, right? With BlackRock, right? With Fidelity, Invesco, and many, many more. You know what I mean? Of these major, institutions. Okay, we just saw a couple of days ago, big W for Ripple, right? That XRP is not a security, and once that actually happened, okay, we saw XRP absolutely pumping up to the upside. You know what I mean? Because it's not a security, meaning these other altcoins are potentially not securities as well, and it's true, right? The SEC has came out and said that these crypto tokens, like for example Cardano, Solana, Polygon, Filecoin, and many more. Like they said XRP many years ago. And I'm pretty sure they mentioned Ethereum also being a security as well. But these tokens are not securities, guys, right? Clearly, Ripple just recently, a couple of days ago, won, okay, the lawsuit with the SEC. XRP is not a security, and that's why we saw XRP pumping, we saw Bitcoin pumping, we saw Ethereum pumping, we saw, pretty much the entire crypto market pumping as well. So, what I'm trying to say is, guys, the future is looking pretty bright for crypto. It really, really is. Now, moving on to this chart, you guys know I'm a big believer of, history. Yeah, it can potentially, repeat, but it's not going to 100%, repeat what it did, right? It's obviously going to be similar patterns. It's like clockwork, right? It's going to be pretty similar. So what happened in 2018 to 2020, you guys can clearly see could potentially be happening for 2022 and 2025, right? So we had the bear market, okay, and then of course the pre-halving, which was about 500 days, and then we had the halving, and then you guys can clearly see once we actually have the halving, right? Bitcoin didn't pump straight away. You got to give it a few months time, like I said, right? And here we are, bull market, and bang, Bitcoin did in fact pump. And that is potentially what's going to happen for the year in 2024 and 2025, right? So we're obviously right now in the pre-halving action right now, okay? And, we have a couple more days to go, okay, before the halving. It's literally less than, a year from now, so not long at all now, guys, okay? So be excited for that. We should be very, very excited. Once the halving actually happens, like I said, we're not going to see Bitcoin pump straight away. You got to give it a few months time, and then bull market, right? We're going to enter the next bull market. And that's when we're officially going to be in the next bull market. And we're going to see Bitcoin really rally up to, 100K easily, 150K easily, you know what I mean? 200K, 250K potentially, and of course, $300,000. A lot of people are in fact saying that Bitcoin can go as high as 400K. We will see, guys, okay? I think that is very, very possible, especially with all these, institutions filing for Bitcoin ETFs and whatnot, and it gets approved. Yeah, we're going to see Bitcoin pump for sure. But yeah, Bitcoin season is in fact about to happen. So be excited for that, guys, okay? Now, moving on, I love this chart, okay? It just shows you guys the Bitcoin chart, throughout the years, okay, of when, the new bull run pretty much starts. So 2013, you guys can clearly see 1, 2, okay, 2016, 1, 2, and a pumped. 2020, 1, 2, and a pumped. And now we are focusing a 1, 2, and we are here. It's all ups, right? It's all ups from here, guys. Okay, and it's saying that Bitcoin could potentially reach as high as $300,000, 300K about, right? And yes, very, very possible, right? I been telling guys this many times, in the next bull market, I do in fact see a 200K to 250K, maybe even a 300K Bitcoin. Very, very possible. And who knows, Bitcoin can maybe go even higher than $300,000. No one actually really knows, guys, right? But Bitcoin will for sure reach a new all-time high that will shock a lot of people. And I know $300,000 will shock a lot of people, right? And obviously there's going to be a lot of FOMO, okay? And I really do believe once Bitcoin actually reaches these high price targets, I think long term, okay, I'm talking here, Bitcoin's going to be less volatile. We know Bitcoin is really, really, really volatile, okay, at some points, most points. I understand that. But I really do believe in the future, long term, Bitcoin's going to be less volatile, right? It's going to be like, for sure, be less volatile. It's going to be holding at certain, prices. That's just where I see Bitcoin in the future, right? But be excited, guys, okay? Because Bitcoin will potentially have a massive rally very, very soon, and it should, okay? Just like what it's been doing throughout the years, okay? 2013, 2016, and 2020. So be excited for that for all my Bitcoin holders. Now, we know, keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. Choose your money wisely, guys. The US dollar is collapsing. We know that. You know what I mean? Like, just in general, fiat money, dirty fiat money is obviously losing its value because of inflation. This is why I always tell you guys to not save money. Always invest your money into assets, right? So you can stay away from inflation, because everything is just rising in price, right? Literally everything is rising in price. Okay, we see food. Okay, we see other things like, I don't know, like gas, you know what I mean? Fuel. All these things are in fact rising in price, and they will keep rising, guys. Okay, so you guys have to understand, do not save your money. Do not keep your money in the bank and just save it, because inflation is going to get worse, okay? And everything's going to get more expensive. So to stay away from inflation, guys, invest it into assets, okay? Something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always going up, guys. That's what you guys understand. And I really do believe Bitcoin is, in fact, a hedge against inflation, right? It really, really is. That is just my personal opinion. And I'm pretty sure you guys can totally, agree with me on that one, right? So do not save your money, invest it into assets, something like Bitcoin, right? For sure, especially long term. But that's that, okay, guys? So choose your money wisely, right? Choose your money wisely. Be smart with your money and understand that inflation is, in fact, around. And it's getting ridiculous. Like, literally, guys, I went to the shops yesterday, right? I went to the mall, okay, and I wanted to buy a packet of chips. I went to the section, okay, and literally a packet of chips nowadays costs like $5 to $6 for one bag. I remember last year, or like 2 years ago, it was like going for like $2 a bag. Now it's at $5. Like, no joke, guys. Like, everything is just getting more expensive. So I feel like when I am going shopping, I just have to wait for things to go on sale. You know what I mean? All on special. You know what I mean? I just don't want to buy the regular price no more. Like, it's just ridiculous at this point. Okay, so that's that, guys, right? It's pretty sad too. But buying one Bitcoin, right, in 2030. Okay, now the year 2030, we know that Bitcoin could potentially be reaching, $1 million per coin. Cathie Wood, she has mentioned, we all know this, right? Cathie Wood, she has mentioned that we will potentially see a $1 million Bitcoin by the year 2030. And yes, that is very, very true. Seeing where Bitcoin is heading in the future with these charts, right? Something like this, 300K. And then, give it another few years, we're going to enter the next bear market, then the next bull market. Bitcoin's going to be at 1 mil. Yeah, very, very possible in my opinion, right? So yeah, we could actually potentially, I'm not saying 100% we're going to see a $1 million Bitcoin by the year 2030, which is less than 7 years from now, which is absolutely crazy. Can you imagine making an investment of 30K right now into Bitcoin, and you just hold that investment for less than 10 years and that investment turns into $1 million? That'll be crazy, right? So that's why, guys, I've been mentioning this many times. I really want you guys to accumulate one full Bitcoin, because this one full Bitcoin could potentially make you a millionaire. You could potentially, have some type of freedom in life, you know what I mean? And have some type of wealth as well, just by simply holding one full Bitcoin, right? And if you want to hold that one Bitcoin even longer, I reckon, you will have more money, you know what I mean? Because the Bitcoin price is going to keep rising. Bitcoin is not just going to reach 1 million. I think it's going to reach, millions of dollars in the future. Of course, I'm talking long term, guys. You know, I'm talking decades from now, right? But that's that, guys. So please, okay, please have that goal. Okay, if you haven't already and you're watching this video, please have that goal of accumulating one full Bitcoin, right? So that's that, guys. Now, to end off this video, I just want to quickly give you guys an update on the Fear and Greed Index, currently at 56. So we're still in greed mode, which is amazing to see, right? Just like yesterday, we were in greed mode. Last week, we were in greed mode. Last month, we were actually in fear mode, right? At 41. So everything's still looking pretty good, you know what I mean? For the Fear and Greed Index, it seems like for Bitcoin and crypto, everyone is in fact feeling that greed right now, which is good. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. So that's that, guys. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin and crypto, right? Especially Bitcoin, right? It really, really is. But on that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Give thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate that. And I catch you guys all in my next video. Have a blessed day, guys.